Our group will be doing Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd, which is a car dealership company.
Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd is formed by 9 partners, running a partnership firm doing business of car dealership. The reason behind for us to form this company is one to lower down customers' burden to get a car in a lower price. All partners will be enjoying the concept of limited liability. Members of the company are not personally liable for the debts and obligations of the company. The members are liable towards the debts of the company up to the amount of shares subscribed by each of the members.
For the type of company, the distinction between a company and a partnership is that companies are required to get the Register of Company, which governed by Company Act 2016. Under Section 14, the proposed name of the company, company status, nature of the business, and company address are mandatory for submission, whereas partnership need to submit registration application for partnership firm that governed by Business Act 1956. Furthermore, for liability of debt, the individuals under a company are not liable for company debt or legal obligation, whereas the partner under a partnership firm have the responsibility to share the debt liability. Thus, after we have discussed to run a car dealer company, we have agreed to form a private limited company called Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd. We choose to form a private limited company as we will have limited liability in managing the company. The directors and shareholders do not risk losing any assets or personal wealth if the business suffers from any severe losses.
Our company name is Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd. A company name must be approved by the Registrar of Company. For a private company, the name should end with Sdn Bhd or Sdn Bhd. According to Company Act Section 26, company name is restricted to be registered if a company name is not available to be registered in the opinion of the Registrar of Company. Company name should not be more than 50 characters including spaces between words and cannot use numbers, signs, and symbols as part of the company name. Names which do not resemble elements of religion are likely to be offensive to the public. It is prohibited to use the words federal, state, or national unless it is under a state or federal government department. Company name must not misleading its identity, natural objects, or persons of companies such as mistaken the name of another company.
Next, it will be the steps must be taken to form the private limited company. In other words, it is Sdn Bhd. The first step is choosing a name of the company to be formed and request to check the reliability of the name chosen. It will cost around 30 ringgit per search. So the following step after checking the reliability, we have to determine and decide the name and follow by obtaining approval from SSM. This process usually takes an hour up to a working day upon submissions. Next, we have to fill up the essential legal documents such as memorandum and article of association. These documents outline and explain about the essential component of the company structure are mandatory submissions. It will take 3 to 5 working days upon submission. The last step, after approximately a week, certificate of incorporation will be issued by SSM if every submission is completed. So in overall, the estimated cost is 2,000 ringgit to 3,000 ringgit, inclusive of those company name search, SSM fees, stamp duties, common sale, share certificate books, minutes, register book, and secretarial files.
As a car dealership company, Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd adopted constitution which aligned with the provision of Companies Act 2016. It's a form of contract that governs the internal management between companies and shareholders or members with each other. Under Section 31 of Act, Eminent Auto holds the right to modify the power, duties, obligations of each member, allotment and transfer of shares, dividends payment, and appointment of director. The constitution must be lodged with the registrar during incorporation. Once registered, it binds member as if it was a contract under seal. It also gives the director a better flexibility in dealing with authorities and handling license matter. Outsiders who are not acquainted with the contract cannot enforce any rights conferred on them. Any alterations made to the constitution should pass special resolution, which is a member must vote for the benefit of company as a whole and require an agreement of 75% majority of votes cast.
Constitution also replaced the previous memorandum and articles of association in order to register a company. The main contents in Constitution include signing of board resolution, communication method, adoption of common goal, objective and nature of business, as well as membership entry fee and cessation criteria. Types of share, such as rights of divided and repayment of shareholder, should be listed in Constitution. There are also share certificate, weight of votes, proceedings of general meetings and minutes meetings. Power and duties of directors should be clearly stated along in rotation of members, indemnity and share loaned issued to third party.
Effects of incorporation. The doctrine of separate legal entity is the main reason why Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd is formed. Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd is a legal entity that firm's asset and income is distinct from its member. The member of Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd will be enjoying the concept of limited liability, means that shareholders and members of the company are not personally liable for the debts and obligations of the company. The creditors of the company cannot run after the shareholders for the debt incurred by the company, and instead, they go after the company itself. This secures the personal property and belongings of the shareholders. Besides, Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd is formed by 9 shareholders and select a board of directors who will be in charge of the day-to-day running of the business. Shares of the corporations are freely transferable because as a separate entity, the existence of a corporation is not dependent upon whom the owners or investors are at any one time. Next, Eminent Autos, previously as a partnership, are now able to be sued or sue in the firm's name, Eminent Autos Sdn Bhd, in their own right. Nevertheless, there are exceptions to the separate personality doctrine. This is to prevent the members from taking advantage to do something which is against the law. In the aspect of statutory exceptions, a person or officer who intends to deceive any false or misleading report to other members or to the registers commits an offense and is liable to imprisonment or fine. While in the aspect of common law exceptions, when a company is formed to avoid legal obligations or to commit fraud or is mere facade concealing the true fact, both are said to commit an offense.
In a private company limited by shares, the liabilities of the shareholders for company debts is limited to the capital that originally invests in the partnership firm. It's just that the personal liabilities for the company debts of the partners is limited to the capital that they invest in the partnership business. The creditor of company can announce bankruptcy when the company debts reach 50,000 ringgit. A company limited by shares having not more than 50 shareholders to register as a private company.
There are 2 advantages of operating a Sdn Bhd company. First of all, shareholders are not affected by debt of company. Second, company's debt will not be transferred to shareholders. It means that if the debt of company exceeded the limited amount, the creditor of company can announce bankruptcy of the company. Thus, if the company bankrupt, the shareholder have the right to not pay the remaining debt.
As a conclusion, the company chose to form in private limited company as limited liability that will affect shareholder in managing company. Director and shareholder of company doesn't need to worry on having risk losing any asset if business is suffer from loss. Doctrine of separate legal entity can be used to protect shareholder being personally liable from company debts. Company will continue exist until it is removed from register, whereby shareholder wish to dissolve the company. It is recommended that power and duties of director and shareholder should be stated clearly in the Constitution to avoid conflict from happening.